Okay, so this week we watched The Third Man. It's from 1949. Made it onto my list because it's one of Criterion's out-of-print films. Supposedly, okay, here's what I understand of it. There was some copyright issues with the film. Apparently, it passed into public domain by accident. I guess one of the producers died, and they forgot to re-up the copyright after he died. This was back in the 60s, so it was still in the situation where you needed to actually file claim on copyright in order to maintain it. Stuff these days is still your intellectual property, even if you never register it. And that's why you see copyright stamped on everything. If you look like a cereal box, you'll see the mascot has a copyright symbol, the logo has a copyright symbol, the manufacturer's logo has a copyright symbol. They don't actually need to put that on there for everything. Not necessarily, but it's kind of a holdover. You needed to say it, and that's what invoked the right of copyright. But I guess somebody forgot to re-up the copyright, and so it passed into the public domain. And then I guess sometime between when it came back into, copyrighted status and, when it came out of it, Criterion had released their DVD of it, 2008 apparently. And so they had this, they were making it for a few years, and then 4 years later, there's a Supreme Court case that put it right back into the fully copyrighted again. So it's going to be that way until 2045, as I understand. This is a noir crime film. Like I said, it's from 1949, so it takes place basically right after the war. It's set in Vienna. It's all bombed out. It's occupied by the Allies. They're talking about how they have the Russian quarter and the French quarter, and they have, Austrians have to carry their papers around and everything. And it reminded me. They mentioned at the start of the film they had an opening monologue, and they talked about Constantinople. And I knew that also, after the First World War, had a similar fate. There was a point during after the First World War, where the city was under the command of the Japanese because they had joined the Entente powers. That was a weird conflict. But yeah, I was just running through, and it's Istanbul, who has occupied this city? And it's Japan. I'm how did that happen? I guess that's how that happened. But so this is in Vienna. There's an author who has been invited by his friend Harry Lime to come visit him in war-torn Vienna. Beautiful place, Vienna, but slightly bombed at this point. He arrives, he goes to the hotel, and he finds out, oh, yeah, your friend's dead. It's oh, okay. And so this is the story of the author who's being invited to come out. He does schlocky pulp things. He has some little cowboy novels that he writes, and he needs to try to solve the mystery of what happened to his friend. And that's where this goes. It's just him out on the beat, following up clues, talking to people. Oh, you should go talk to this guy. So he'll go off, he'll talk to the guy, and oh my god, it's quippy. The dialogue is fast-paced. You wouldn't expect this from a film from the 40s. I defy you. You could show this. If it were not in black and white, you could show this to a Marvel movie audience, and they'd be oh, this is pretty good.
I think I did okay.
They might think that the music is a little hokey, but it's fine to me. Soundtrack of the film. It appears to just be one guy sitting down and playing a zither, picking up and slowing down as the pace of the scenes demands. It's just one guy with one instrument. It's a very bizarre choice, but my god, it definitely worked. And that had to have been very, very cost-effective. It's funny, on my spreadsheet I have written down, I have the name of the film, I have the year it came out, I have why it's on my list, I have the director, the genre, the rating on IMDb, and the length. I looked at the director and I was Carol Reed. Oh, I suppose this was probably early enough that they were it still wasn't that uncommon for there to be women directing these films. Turns out, no, this is a situation like Leslie Nielsen. Carol Reed is a guy.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
He's responsible for Oliver and The Odd Man Out. So this made it onto my list because I'd always heard it was a fantastic film, and it was in Orson Welles' basically top 5. Probably this might be his second best film. It's very good. But Orson Welles is in this thing, and he's always fantastic.
Ah, have the French champagne?
There's a scene in the film where Orson Welles, him and the protagonist they're looking out, and he just says to him, in Italy, for 30 years under the Borgias, they had warfare, they had murder, but they produced Michelangelo and Da Vinci and the Renaissance. In Switzerland, they had, 500 years of democracy and peace. And what did they produce? The cuckoo clock. He's able to spit these lines, and his delivery is always so good. This was apparently a bit of a controversial line because the cuckoo clock is not Swiss, and Switzerland was at one point, in the very recent past, quite militaristic. So they have had maybe 80 years of peace and democracy. Still, though, it's a fun scene, and knowing that, it might actually even just paint the character that Orson Welles is playing as somebody who kind of talks big but ultimately talks out of his ass. I will say the camera work on this was fantastic. Dutch angles all over the place, properly employed. Oh my god, the Dutch angles are so good in this. Now, this is one of those situations where, I could name off the other actors in the film, but I don't think any of the names would mean anything to people. Joseph Cotten plays the protagonist, Holly Martins. Alida Valli plays Anna Schmidt, the love interest. According to Wikipedia, she was at the time considered to be the equivalent of Marlene Dietrich or Greta Garbo, which is very high praise. They say she was active up into the 2000s, which is a little bit wild when you consider her first film was in 1935. Here's one people might know. Okay, if you've watched James Bond, the original James Bonds, the guy who played M originally, he's in this. There you go. His character was great, actually, now that I think about it. Wonderful fella. Now, everybody does a fantastic job. There's intrigue, there's great camera work, there's intriguing sound. Apparently there's 2 cuts of the film. I don't know which one I watched now that I think about it. There's a US version and a UK version. I got the Criterion cut, so whatever that one is. Yeah, supposedly in the original British release, the director Carol Reed had voiceover describing post-war Vienna from a racketeer's point of view. And then the American cinema version cut out a bunch of footage and replaced his voiceover with narration by the protagonist. And I'll have to go back and check, I guess. I don't know. And I guess they did for some reason somebody decided to do a spin-off TV series following Harry Lime. And there was also a British radio series also about Harry Lime. I'm like, Harry Lime was the villain. They're playing him as this adventurous rogue type character. He's straight up a bad guy in this. He did bad things. I can't even imagine what this would have been about. And I suppose you can't exactly do a spin-off series about the protagonist because he's just a novelist usually. So what would you do? Have him just I guess you could do Murder, She Wrote style stuff, where he goes to a place and then gets wrapped up in something and writes about it later, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I guess Murder, She Wrote is the perfect way to spin off from The Third Man. Holly Martins shows up in town, somebody gets murdered, and he solves the crime and then writes about it. But yeah, the fact that this happened back in 1959, and it ran for 6 years. I know we like to say that Hollywood has no original ideas now. They've always done this. And I know it's particularly egregious at the moment with all the Disney live-action remakes and whatnot. I know we just got a nightmare Lilo and Stitch live-action nonsense. This is nothing new. Corporations have been looking for a cheap turnaround on their IPs for ages. I guess 10 years after the fact, maybe hubbub about The Third Man had quelled enough that people would remember it as, oh yeah, that movie, it was pretty good, without quite remembering that Harry Lime was the bad guy. But yeah, I'm getting way sidetracked. Watch this film, The Third Man. It's very good. It's old. Oh my god, it holds up. It will keep you engaged. It will keep you engaged. It is fantastic. Maybe I just really like anything Orson Welles is in. I don't know. He also managed to bring back a trick of his from Citizen Kane. We totally get bird jump scared. We appreciate bird jump scares in this house. So yeah, give that a look. And hey, speaking of watching things, what are we watching this week? 3, 2, 1, and go! Alright, everything drops down, goes down into the bowl, they're spinning around, they are given a little bit of there's grooves on the side. They get a little bit of a boost from that. Okay, that sends them spinning. So they don't just go straight down. Alright, down into the funnel. Out front is A Colt Is My Passport. Japanese action-y looking thing with somebody on the front holding a gun. I just love the concept of somebody being like, oh, you want to see my papers? Here, it's a gun. Colt Is My Passport out front. Teorema on the other side, coming in, also hot. Seven Samurai, My Dinner with Andre. Everybody's jumping into the bowl now. It could be anybody. Oh, wow. My Dinner with Andre out front, followed by Cecil B. Demented and Fierce City. My Dinner with Andre gets into the thing. Fan of the Monastery, Fierce City again. Fierce City's out front now. Okay. But there's another bowl. This could be another equalizer. They need to see who's going to go down into the thing first. Funnel. Out of the funnel is Brazil out front now. Okay, we have some little bumps here. Charade. Into the windstorm. Who can pass through the eye of the hurricane? A Colt Is My Passport is dead. 3 women are dead. Oh, wow. My Dinner with Andre is way out front now. Charade blown off to the side. Everything's dying. Oh no. It's looking like My Dinner with Andre is going to be the winner. It effortlessly passes through that comb. Into the end, it's My Dinner with Andre. Oh man, I've been waiting for this. Okay. We were talking about Deep Space Nine earlier. There's the Phantom of the Monastery, Fellini's Satyricon. Yeah, My Dinner with Andre. Wallace Shawn is in that, who you may recognize as the Grand Nagus. There's the Seven Samurai. There is A Man Escaped, Cecil B. Demented, Last Hurrah for Chivalry. We're not even going to have 10 finalists this race. There's the Linguini Incident. Monsieur Hulot's Holiday appears to be stuck. Oh, maybe? Have you gotten through? Better hurry, you're gonna catch fire. And there's Monsieur Hulot's Holiday. Alright, it's official. Our winner is My Dinner with Andre. I've been excited for this. Alright, so yeah, all of these did not finish. The last of our DNFs was the fabulous Baron Munchausen, so that's officially our 10th place. God, that's gonna be great. Okay, let me pull up my movie list. If you've seen early Simpsons, you may recognize a My Dinner with Andre reference in there. They went to an arcade at, I think, the bowling alley, and Martin was playing an arcade game version of My Dinner with Andre. It's just Wallace Shawn and the other guy, Andre, at a table having a conversation over dinner. That's the movie. There's just 2 people having a conversation over dinner. Alright. My Dinner with Andre, number 12 on my list. It's from 1981. It is on the list because it is from Celine Song's Top 10 Films. Directed by Louis Malle, or possibly Louis Malle. It is a comedy drama. It has 7.7 out of 10 on the IMDb. It's 111 minutes. I know I always like to say that a nice tight 90 minutes is great. This is almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours of 2 guys sitting in a restaurant having a chat over dinner. I can't wait.